Hello there. I was asked to do like a video on my brushes. So this is it. Uh, you're going to hear things like fantastic brush, wonderful brush, lovely brush, on and on and on like that. Because every one of my brushes I love. And every one of them is lovely, or I would have got rid of them. So anyway, I'll start with the bores. This is the very first decent shaving brush I ever owned. And it's a Smoke 1470. Lovely brush. Got a fantastic knot that has a wonderful amount of backbone to it, but it also turns really, really soft and fluffy on your face. Wonderful, wonderful, high quality knot and a really nice wooden handle. There's a brush that I prefer even over that one when it comes to bore, and it's its sister brush, the Smoke 1460. And the only reason I prefer it, because the knots are the exact same knot, is I like the painted handle. I like this shape a little bit better than that shape in my hand. This color scheme is so beautiful. It just, I love this brush. So, and then the last bore that I own, except for my Vanderhagen, which is packed away, and we're not even looking at that. Everybody knows what that is, and so anyway, is the 1438 Smoke. Now this has a little bit lesser grade. I'm not saying it's a poor grade. It's just a different grade of knot that has, it doesn't get as soft and it doesn't poof out and go kind of crazy like these knots. I mean, you look at this one. I mean, this one went nuts on me, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. That's the nature of that knot, and it's a beautiful knot. But this one retained its shape more. It's stiffer. It's a little bit more scrubby, but wonderful in its own right. And I love the color scheme and the design of the handle. It just looks really classy and classic. That cream and that this type of red, and it's just a beautiful brush. Uh, Lovely. And then we move to the only one of these that I have, and that's Horse. But I got a V-Long 12601 in the brown Horse. This is a fantastic brush and a fantastic knot. People say all the time, well, you got to comb your bores out, your horses out and stuff like that. Well, I comb this about every 5 or 6 uses, but not because it needs it, just because I know that people say you ought to. I've never had the hole in the center of it, but I don't smash. If you watch my videos and you watch, I have a video on lathering with uh, 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 floppy brushes and stuff like that, and you don't have to smash a brush into a cake of soap in order to get lather off of it. And if you treat these knots properly, then they're not that big of a deal. It takes about 10 seconds to comb that out with a nice wide tooth comb. Eminently worth it. It's a fantastic brush. The knot is fantastic. It's kind of to me, it's sort of like a cross between a boar and a badger. Just a wonderful brush. And I may get another horse at some time, but right now I'm more into badger and synthetics at the moment, and so we'll see. But it's a wonderful brush and part of my collection. I would not want to be without this brush or a brush similar to it. You got to have a horse in your collection. They're just fantastic brushes. So when we come to synthetics, and the first synthetic that I've got, this is the newest one. It's a Bokor. Now this is made for Bokor by Mula. It has a Mula. Matter of fact, the box that it came in said Mula right down at the bottom. And it is a Mula silver tip fiber knot. Wonderful synthetic knot. Soft like the Plisson, but just a tiny bit of scritch. It feels and acts a lot like a Badger brush on the face. Just a lovely, more backbone than the Plisson. Just a lovely brush and beautiful to look at as well. Has a classic kind of handle shape that you either like or you think it's boring, but to me that's a classic shape and I love it, and just a beautiful brush. My battery's running low. You guys will have to excuse me. I need to plug her in so that I can finish this video. Excuse me. Alright. And we're back. Synthetic brushes. My second synthetic brush is from Anthony Mackenzie. It's got a knot in it that he no longer offers. I don't think he can get it anymore. And it's his Lights knot. This is a wonderful knot. Fantastic knot. The handle is fabulous. Just beautiful. I love this swirl and the colors in it, and it's just a wonderful knot. Just as soft as my Plisson knot, but has a little bit more backbone than a Plisson does. It's a lovely brush. He has a sunrise knot, which looks a lot like a Plisson, but he says also that his sunrise knot has more backbone. Now, whether it naturally comes that way or he sets it at a lower loft or whatever, I don't know, but I can tell you that this is an absolutely wonderful brush, and he did a fantastic job on it. The handle, he didn't make the handle, he buys the handles and stuff like that, but setting this knot, it's just beautiful, wonderful brush, and highly recommend his knots, and highly recommend Anthony. And the last, of course, of the synthetics is indeed my Plisson. This is a Simpson Do Barbie or Barbier brush, black acetate handle, standard Plisson, size 12 knot. Simpson Du Barbier means House of the Barber, and I love it. Got the classic handle shape, just beautiful. What more can I say? Everybody knows this knot. It's fantastic. Love this brush. Alright, now let's get into my favorites in the line, and that's the Badgers. The very first one we're going to look at is just a simple pure Badger brush and a black tulip style handle. The brand name Simply Beautiful. I think they were like $12 or $13 a year or so ago when I got this brush. It was piffed to me. It's a wonderful brush. It's pure Badger. That means it's got a bit of scritch, and it's got zero backbone. Okay, but I like floppy. Most people don't like that, or say they don't, but I love a good soft floppy brush. I don't have a problem lathering hard soaps with the very floppiest of brushes. You don't have to mash a brush into a puck of soap to get lather off of it. But that's a story for another video, and it's already up. Look it up. But anyway, I keep it because it's a good brush. As far as scritch, I bowl lather, or now I'm lathering in the scuttle, which is the same as a bowl lather. And I use painting strokes, so scritch does not bother me all that much because I'm not doing this number and that number on my face and shoving it into my face. And, you know, I make my lather in a bowl and paint it on. So the scritch doesn't bother me at all. And it's a beautiful brush, just a simple kind of beginner's kind of brush. Lovely. Love it. My second badger is my Rooney, vintage Rooney Restore. I looked for about a year for an old vintage butterscotch handle, but I never thought that I would find a nice Rooney handle. I thought I'd find, you know, an old Eveready that had a butterscotch component on the bottom of it or something like that, and which would be fine. And if I find one of those, I'll snatch it up too. But I never thought that I would find the quality of this Rooney handle. And you can see where the sticker used to be. But the knot that was in it was the Rooney knot, but it was mangy and missing a bunch of hairs and all kind of stuff. And I did my best to rehab it and used it a couple times, and it just was not, it needed a new knot. So I put keeping with the fact that it was a 3-band that was in it to start with, I put a 3-band silver tip standard knot from the Golden Nib, and it's a wonderful knot, nice and soft. It's not super floppy, and it's not got a lot of huge backbone. It's just almost right dead in the middle. Doesn't fall over when you get it wet, but it's not, you know, you're not going to have to worry about tearing up a puck of soap because it's nice and soft, and it splays really wonderful. Just a wonderful brush, and glad to have it. Then one of my best performing brushes, my Eveready 100, and it has a 20mm golden nib, 2-band, finest knot, and that knot is set at about 51 or 50 to 52, somewhere in that range. Not sure which now, but it's between 50 and 52 millimeters. And it's just the perfect balance of backbone and softness. It doesn't hog lather. It gives what it gets. It just nice and soft, splays wonderfully on my face when I do painting strokes. Just a fantastic knot. Wonderful brush. Love, love, love this brush. Then, next up is my Simpson Do. Fantastically dense knot with fantastic backbone. Just wonderful. Simpson handles are fantastic. Really well done. This brush taught me what quality was in a brush. Period. Duke 2. Best badger. Lovely. Then, of course, my other Simpson. This is one of 2 of my most proud or prized possessions as far as brushes go. And that's my Simpson P8 Fill, or Fill 8. Best badger. This handle is designed after, it's the exact same shape as the old Fill handle that Simpson doesn't make anymore. It's done in faux tortoiseshell. The knot's wonderfully dense. It's wonderfully soft. The difference between the softness of this brush, this knot, and the softness of this knot is like night and day. You can even see the difference in the color. I don't know if my monitor will show it. This is much whiter. Just wonderful. Both of them fabulous brushes, but the quality of this knot I think is more better. But this is an older brush. This was 2013. This was a Shave Nook limited edition 2013. Just a beautiful, beautiful brush, and proud to have it. Looked for it for a year and a half before I was able to find it. And then my Anthony Mackenzie Vintage Eveready 100 Restore. Got the long handle this time. Really wonderful bowl lathering brush. Got a high mountain white knot in it. Fantastic dents. Just wonderful knot. Perfectly set in this brush at the perfect height for me. I told Anthony, look, I want the thing to bloom really well. I don't want it so far buried in the knot that it won't bloom, but I want the thing, I want some backbone to it, but I don't want to have to crush it against my face to get it displayed. I want it to have the perfect balance between a dense, stiff brush and a soft, kind of medium kind of backbone to it, and he did a perfect job. This knot is absolutely perfectly the right height for the 24 millimeter knot that is in here. Just fabulous, really close to this knot in terms of performance, backbone, density, all of that. Just a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic brush. And then the second prized brush in my collection. This is a Matthew Martin Brush Guy brush. It has a 22 millimeter Virginia Shing 3-band silver tip knot. The handle is hand poured resin with mica powders to color it. It's hand poured, hand turned, polished, and shaped, and the knot is set, hand set by Matthew. And I have wanted one of these brushes since the very first time I went on a Facebook page, shaving page, and saw one of these brushes. This was before he started putting the medallions in them, and the medallions just classy as all get out. But even without that, this brush, the handle shape, the quality of workmanship, just fantastic, and I am incredibly proud to own this brush. I will have more of these brushes in the future. And lastly, my latest restore. It's a Century set in rubber. It has a 20 millimeter golden nib finest. If you haven't caught the theme yet, this is like my favorite knot from them. This is set at like 47 or 48 millimeter, and it's just absolutely fantastic. It's a small little brush. I mean, if you put it, let's see, put it beside something like, okay, let's just look at this vintage brush. I mean, you can see, if I get it right, it's a small little brush, just a tiny little thing. If you look at, sorry, wrong one. Look at just this Simply Beautiful Pure. I mean, they're about the same size, but this brush, it's a small little brush, but it's wicked good. Wonderful, very beautiful, the clear and the cream top with that 2-band finest knot there. The look is just absolutely incredible. Wonderfully dense, beautiful brush. Fantastic backbone. And it's small. It doesn't hog lather, even though it's dense and short lofted. It's very small. And it just hits a wicked little brush. And I love the thing. So, okay. Those are my brushes. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it didn't take too long. And God bless you. Shave on and enjoy yourself. I'll talk to you later on.